Hey everyone, 7fingers, and this is Dixie. We're live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, so some of you have asked me how I became 7fingers. Uh, Others have asked why I started doing a YouTube channel for the game, that kind of stuff. So this is to explain that and a little more. So, first of all, I became 7fingers because of this. Yep. Cut off half my hand and three of my fingers. Uh, Broke my radius bone. See the scar? Shattered it actually. So I have a plate and 6 screws in it. Or plate, a 6-inch plate and 12 screws. And then I broke that little styloid bone on the other side. Uh, this happened September of last year. So since then, it's been a challenge trying to figure out how to do things with my hand. Uh, Pain, not being able to do the things that I used to do. Because before this, uh, I was really active. I weightlifted religiously. I mean, God, I was in there all the time. Uh, so since then, I've lost like 30 pounds of muscle, 35 pounds of muscle, something like that. I haven't been able to lift, obviously. With the pain in my wrist, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of anything. My hand, I can use it occasionally for different things. Actually, I can use it pretty decently. Uh, but with my wrist being how it is, it swells up a lot. Kind of useless in that form, so I haven't been able to do anything in the gym or work or anything like that. So I started playing PUBG about a month and a half ago, something like that. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit longer, I'm not sure. And I started getting into it. I like it. It fits my personality. I former military. I used to like to fight a lot, that kind of stuff. So I know weapons, I know ballistics, all that kind of stuff. So the game fits that part of my earlier years and personality anyway. And then I started meeting people on there. And a lot of people think, video games, childish, kids. Oh, video games are just for kids. That kind of crap. Well, the people I've met on there, man, I tell you, the game itself keeps me coming back, but the people, man, the people make me want to stay. Even if I'm having a bad day, my hand hurts, I just, I'm struggling, I get on there, I start playing, and the people, man, it's all about the people. You meet some awesome people on there like Niz Khalifa, BBC Tender, Kendo, Sneak and Shoot. I mean, the list goes on and on. Bob Lee Swagger. I can name off probably 100 people that I've met on there that are just awesome people. Anywhere from 9 years old to around my age, 47. I mean, they're just awesome people. They have fun. They don't take the game overly serious. They don't take themselves overly serious most of the time. And, they're just awesome. I mean, there's nothing else, there's no other word that I can put to describe them. They get on there, they try to help out the newer people. They try to teach you the little tricks and stuff that you don't know or wouldn't know or whatever. And it just makes it awesome. It just makes it a better experience than just a video game. I mean, I'm on another game called Nitro Nation 6. And yeah, it's a good game. It's a racing game. and you can talk to people every once in a while on the chat if they're on your team and stuff, but you can't like talk to them live. You can't play a live game with them, and that's the difference. You know, this game, this PUBG Mobile, you talk to people live. You're in a live match with them. It's not. Uh, it's not about just facing bots and stuff like that. You're talking to a live person, and that's awesome. I mean, it makes it more enjoyable. Okay, anyway, going on. So since I started playing the game and started meeting people and everything, uh, I've used the game more as an outlet personally, because you know, when I start having pain and stuff in my hand and my wrists, uh, the game takes me out of it a little bit. I mean, the pain pills do help. I'm not gonna lie, they do help. But the game itself takes me out of it. It gets me out of my own head. It gets me focusing on something else. And then talking to the people in the game, helping them, you know, when they need help, and just the camaraderie, it helps. And you know, if you're facing a bad situation in your life and you do play the game, you probably know this what I'm talking about. You know, you've probably seen the same thing in your own life. You know, you're depressed about something, so you get on PUBG Mobile, you play, and you start talking to people, and you know, your everyday shit just doesn't seem as bad, and you know, you're able to get a different kind of outlook on stuff from talking to the people on there, or from just, you know, the everything. And Zombie, man, I just met the guy, just started playing with him, and he was one of the first people on my video feed, so that just shows you, you know, what kind of people you're dealing with. So far he seems like a great guy. Like he said, you know, he agrees. So shout out to him. You know, being an amputee, you know, and having been as physical as I was, because that's all I've known is physical. I mean, like I said, I used to fight. I was in the military for a while. I've had a lot of experiences and everything, and I've never had to depend on anybody else. I've always been really self-dependent, and I've always faced challenges head on, and I'm not afraid of anything, you know. And that's been my whole life. For 47 years, that's how I was. You know, I've never been beaten by anything or anyone, you know. Yeah, when I fought mostly, you know, underground fights and stuff like that. I wasn't sanctioned or anything. And out of all my fights, I lost 4, you know, and I did that for 4 or 5 years, you know. So when it came to just everyday things, I faced challenges head on. I faced people head on. And since I've, you know, been dealing with an amputation and not having that, you know, strength and stuff like I'm used to, I've had to get used to being weak in areas that I'm not used to being weak, and struggling in areas that I never had to struggle in before. Like just simple things like trying to open something. You know, before I never even thought of it. I just crack it open. Now I have to struggle with it, and at times I have to ask my fiance, hey, can you open this for me? Or trying to do something as simple as cooking, you know. Sometimes I have to ask her for help because I just can't do it. And you know, at first that kind of bothered me because I'm not used to that. I'm used to just doing stuff on my own. So I had to get used to asking for help. Not that I didn't want to ask for it. It's not nothing like that, or that I felt lesser by asking or anything like that. Not, you know, nothing as small as that. It had more to do with I wanted to do it myself. And now that I've learned my limitations a little bit, and I'm learning limitations every day, don't get me wrong. It's taught me a new respect for, you know, people that have been going through this for their whole life, and I never really thought about it. You know, I'd help them out when I'd see them, you know, struggling with something, but I never really thought about it. I liked helping people do things, but I never really thought about it. You know what I mean? Have you ever been in a situation where you help somebody and you don't ever really think about it? You're like, okay, I'm glad I could help that person, but you really don't put yourself in their position, really. Well, since my amputation, I've had to put myself in their position because now I'm in their position. And it brings a whole different uh, outlook on it, a whole different view on it. And that's a struggle for me because, like I said, I'm not used to any kind of weakness or anything. Uh, so I've had to struggle with that a little bit. But even from the very first, when I very first had it happen, what happened was I had just started on this guy's farm, and it was a milk farm, and I had just gotten done dealing with a cow, and the tissue that I was using, it's a wet wipe basically, fell out of my hand and blew up behind me. And not being familiar with the layout of the place, I reached back to grab it just by reaction, and I stuck my hand into an industrial fan, and I had to pull my hand out, and just the torque of the fan, it twisted my wrist and broke my radius bone, or crushed it for about an inch. And I looked at my hand right away. I assessed it, knew that I was going to be facing a whole lot. So I set my mind right then. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to keep my head, be able to tell the people what's going on, what happened, my pain level, that kind of stuff. I knew I couldn't pass out. And the farmer that I was working for came over and asked me if I needed anything, and I told him that, you know, I need something put on it. So he gave me some high absorbency paper towels, basically, and took me to the hospital, and I walked myself in. He went and got my fiance so she could grab our car and come to the hospital. And I told the lady at the counter, you know, what happened. I cut my fingers off. And she just looked at me like, oh, you know, we'll get you in there right away. And so I went through that, and I was in the hospital for 14 or 15 days. And so far I've had, I think, 5 surgeries. Not positive. But the whole time I was in the hospital, I kept on telling myself, you know, get up, go do stuff, go out, smoke a cigarette, because I smoke. Go out, get some fresh air, go down to the cafeteria, get some food, whether I wanted to or not. I mean, there was times I was laying in my bed and I was like, yeah, I don't feel like doing shit. And I wouldn't let myself do that. I made myself get up. I made myself go do stuff because I knew, you know, if I let myself go into that depression state, that I'd probably stay there for longer than I needed to, or longer than I wanted to, longer than was good for me. So I make myself do things. And in my everyday life, it's wintertime in Minnesota. Now, some of you might not know what that means. It means it's pretty damn cold a lot of times, with a lot of snow. And like today, it's 2 or 5 or something like that with a real feel of negative 11. When I got up this morning, my fiance had a work thing to do, so that's why I'm sitting in my car. I'm waiting for her. When we left this morning, it was negative 11 with a real feel of like negative 19 or something. So with that and the snow, we've gotten a lot of snow this year, and everything, it's difficult because the cold kills my hand, kills my wrist, causes a lot of pain. Having to dig things out is really difficult when I only have one really good hand to work with. So a lot of days I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like going outside. I don't feel like taking my dog out. It's cold. I know this is going to hurt, but I have to, you know. I make myself get up. I make myself take the dog out. I make myself do the dishes when I need to, cook when I need to, that kind of stuff. You know, I don't let myself just sit and dwell on my hand and woe is me and why God and all that kind of stuff. No, you know. Yeah, there are warming packs, and I've tried using them, and they do actually work. I've tried using gloves on it, and gloves are really hard to get on. I'm not gonna lie. The gloves that I found anyway, there's some mittens that I might be able to use that are easier, but I don't have any income, and without income, yeah, that kind of sucks. So that's that part of it. My fiance's coming out, so she might actually talk a little bit in the video. So dealing with that kind of stuff on a daily is difficult.
Did you leave at all?
No, we stayed here.
Has she been out yet?
Yeah. So, you know, just dealing with daily issues gets to be a pain in the butt sometimes. But you just can't let yourself dwell on, you know, what if this wouldn't have happened? What if, you know, life was different? Because it's not going to be. No matter how much you think, man, I wish this wouldn't have happened, or you know, question, it's not going to change anything. You're still going to be in the position you are, dealing with the situation you're dealing with. So just bypass all that. It's a waste of energy, a waste of time. Look at ways of dealing with it, like me. You know, I make myself get up and do things. Don't like it, but I don't have to. It's not about whether I like it or not, or whether I want to do it or not. It's because I have to. And you can deal with that on a multitude of things. You're depressed. You're having a bad day. You have a headache. You're just not feeling it for whatever reason. You know, a lot of people make excuses, reasons why they don't want to do something, and then they don't do it. And then later on they're like, man, I wish I would have done that. So now they got the compound issue of they didn't do it. Now they're depressed about not doing it. And now you have two things you're dealing with. You know, you're having the depression to begin with, and then depression for not doing what you were supposed to do in the first place. And then you're going to, you know, have other issues as far as, you know, second guessing yourself, doubting yourself, getting mad at yourself. Waste of time, waste of energy. So do it, you know, get up, do what you need to do. You don't have to like it, but I guarantee if you do it, you'll feel better that you did it. And, you know, that's why I started making the videos. You know, people say, well, you know, your videos are good, but not that great. You know, I know my videos are not that great, but I enjoy doing them. And I enjoy the fact that I can do them. Because I enjoy the game. And I enjoy the people in the game. And if I can start making money doing the videos, then yeah, you know, that's awesome. But to me, it's more about being able to do it, enjoying doing it. You know, I'm not the greatest player in the game. Those of you that have played with me know that. But I'm always there, and I'm always willing to play when people want to play, when I can, you know, and if somebody has a question, I'm always willing to help them out as much as I can, because I know a lot about the game. I might have only been on it for a short time, but I know a lot about it, because I play a lot. And I play the solo matches a lot, I play the duos a lot, I play the squads a lot, so I know the dynamics of each of the different maps, the guns, you know, so if I can put a little bit of that knowledge into my videos, that'll hopefully help somebody sooner or later, or, you know, give them a different idea of how to play or whatever. So it's not about me being a great player or having the greatest videos. To me, it's about being able to do it, wanting to do it, and helping other people at the same time. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
My fiance is kind of, you know, wanting to get home, so I'm going to have to cut this shorter than I wanted to. But it's already been
on and on and on.
It's already been 22 minutes, so maybe that's long enough. But the moral of the story is face your issues, face your problems. If you have any questions about the game, about how I'm dealing with things, and try to use it in your own life, you know, feel free to ask. I think I have my email on my
They can comment and you will reply.
on my thing, or, you know, you can comment on my videos or whatever. Reach out, you know, I'll reach back. I'm not too proud to ask for help, so don't be too proud.
And touch somebody.
All right, that's
Reach
7
out.
Fingers, PUBG,
Touch somebody.
otherwise known as Michael, by the way.
Reach out. Touch somebody.
So, live long and prosper, I guess. I don't know. Be easy. Take it easy. Stay warm. Or stay cool, depending on where you are. All right.